Morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Traders Report by Matthew Dixon on 3.0 TV. So we're going to begin with gold. It's an asset that's close to many people's hearts. So we're going back now to about April, where this particular wave count began. It actually began way before that, but we'll focus on from around April time, April, May. So we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 count up to here, which was a larger wave 3 in the fractal. So it's interesting to see the different fractals here. So this is a wave 3, then we've got an A, B, C, D, E, wave 4 on that fractal. So the fractal I'm talking about is here. In fact, I'll put the demonstration tool on. There it is. So here's the wave 3 I'm talking about. Then we have an A, B, C, D, E for wave 4. And now we're working on a wave 5. So that will be the wave 5 will be the final wave in this particular cycle. But in fact, then we have the wave 5 is also made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've still got probably some way to go higher in gold. So following a triangle, you would expect there then to be what's called a terminal thrust to the upside. So the wave 5 will make up that terminal thrust. So this terminal thrust should be the final wave in this cycle. So that means it's going to be, after that, it's going to be quite a big correction, but it's just amazing how powerful this wave 5 is. Within commodities, and particularly gold, you often see wave 5 as the extended wave. But even within that, we see within wave 5, we've got an extended wave 3. Interestingly, I put a really extended Fibonacci number on here. Now, it's true Fibonacci extension. Here's the sequence of fib numbers 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, and so on. The way it's made up is adding on the previous two numbers. So 1 and 1 makes 2, 1 and 2 make 3, 2 and 3 make 5, 3 and 5 make 8, and so on. You can go on to infinity with that. And all you're doing is dividing then the number by the previous number, and it gives you the Fibonacci extension. So looking here at 2 through 3 divided by 34 gives you the 6.86 extension. Now, this is a really extended measurement within a chart, a price chart, and it's one that actually signifies that we may be close to a blow off top. So we don't normally reach this sort of extension within any asset, let alone cryptocurrency. 4.236 we do see occasionally. It's very, very rare that we see this sort of extension. And it does indicate that we may be getting near a blow off top. But we can still extend further. I mean, as we say, gold, the fifth wave is often the extended wave. But once this wave is complete, then we should expect a substantial correction because, as we've already said, the triangle is a pre-terminal wave. The thrust from the triangle is the terminal wave, meaning the final wave in this particular cycle. We should then get quite a serious pullback. But at the moment, we look as though gold's pretty well unstoppable. And when you have a powerful uptrend, this is pretty much a parabolic uptrend. When you have such a powerful uptrend, it's extremely dangerous to bet against the trend. So don't try to pick turning points ahead. You need to wait for that turn to be confirmed if you're ever going to think about jumping into a short on gold. So I would not recommend shorting when you have such a powerful uptrend like this. Even though at the moment we do have some regular bearish divergence where we have higher highs on price and corresponding lower highs on RSI. That could easily be negated if we get RSI jumping higher to take us above this level here. So I'm not prepared to bet against gold, even though it seems to be in what traders would say is a real blow-off end towards an extension, but we don't know when that end might be. So it's always dangerous to try to pick tops in markets. We'll just move over briefly to silver. It's not one that we look at regularly, but I like silver because it actually has industrial uses. Gold has its some use, but it's more really of a store of value, whereas silver has much more industrial usage. But silver also, so the reason I say silver is useful to us, it has more of a correlation with traditional assets like stocks, because it has industrial use. When the economy is booming, silver price tends to go higher, but it is also somewhat of a store of value as well. So a bit of a mixture of the two. So with silver, the cycle I'm looking at here is again from, well, not that long ago. Let's just move this out of the way. We're looking at from sort of July, August time. I've begun this particular cycle count. So we have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, And again, we look as though we're getting an extended wave 5 to the upside. And that actually still looks like it has some way to go. So within the final wave 5, again, we've got a wave 1, 2. I don't think we've finished wave 3 yet. There would then be a wave 4 and a wave 5 to take us even higher to the upside on silver. So that's actually quite encouraging for me. It tells me that the stock markets probably still have higher to go because of the correlation between silver and stock markets. And the fact that, again, we're in pretty much a parabolic move. We've got lots and lots of higher highs and higher lows. So we're still very much in an uptrend. And until that's broken, we can't even consider an end to this current bull market as we speak at the moment. It could happen at some point, but at the moment, there's no indications whatsoever that it's coming to an end. So we'll go back into crypto now. In fact, before we do, I'll just dip into DXY, dollar index. I think we probably still have lower to go with dollar index. This looks like a corrective move to the upside for the dollar index. So this movement up, we can see the movement down here has already overlapped into this movement here. So I don't believe that this is impulsive to the upside. It's corrective to the upside. So it tells me that even if we do push a little bit higher, we still have lower to go on dollar index. That's probably a good thing because the dollar is inversely correlated to risk assets. So if we have the dollar falling further, that would mean we still have higher to go on risk assets. And that includes cryptocurrencies. So let's just go into cryptos now. We'll look at Bitcoin. First of all, Bitcoin obviously had an all-time high recently. We've come down quite sharply since then. We may have further to go. It's hard to say. We had a potential, some kind of head and shoulders pattern here. So we may have just a little bit lower to go with Bitcoin short term, but I still think that we're going to head to new all-time highs at some point. So this head and shoulders isn't particularly useful for us at the moment. But the fact is, we do still have other indications telling us that Bitcoin hasn't finished the cycle to the upside. And when we look at the massive inflows into ETFs, it's no surprise that we probably do expect new higher highs for Bitcoin, new all-time highs for Bitcoin. Same sort of thing for Ethereum, really. Again, we've had possibly an ABC move down here, ABC move down for Ethereum, and we appear to be moving up impulsively now. So I say it's impulsively because we got a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the beginning of an impulse, possibly a wave 1. Then A, B, we may have a little bit further movement down to finish a wave C. So that would be then basically a wave 1 up made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a 1 up. An ABC wave 2 down. And then we'd expect a powerful wave 3 to the upside, then a 4 and a further 5 to the upside, probably to take us to new all-time highs for Ethereum. So I'm encouraged by that. And what supports that argument is XRP. XRP is a very interesting one because from the all-time high, we do appear to have had a triangle formation. So I think it's made up of an A wave down, and then we've got an A, B, C, D, E triangle. And then that's completed a B wave. So A wave in red, B wave in red, and then C wave in red to the downside, completing a Y wave, really. I'm going to remove that wave 4 for the time being and just say it's a Y wave. So it probably is part of a larger wave 4, to be honest. And then following that is a correction. The WX, just move further out to show you the W. So the WXY is a correction. And actually the all-time high was before that. That was the wave 3 we're talking about. We've had a WXY. So the all-time high was here, but we are allowed to move above it. Even in a correction, we're allowed to move a little bit above it. And this sharp movement down here finished the correction, which I had labeled as wave 4. So we should expect now a powerful movement to the upside. Remember, triangle is pre-terminal in the cycle. Then we get a C wave, which is a terminal finishing off the Y wave here, terminal wave to the downside. Then we do expect now powerful movement to the upside. That's obviously already begun. We've got this powerful move to the upside here. We're in the midst of a little bit of a correction. Bear in mind, this here is quite solid overhead resistance now. And you can see price did bump right up against that overhead resistance, that ceiling there, and it failed. and I think it's just going to be an ABC failure to the downside with a correction, then we should push powerfully higher. Once we break above it, we might break above and retest, but then that should then act as support. So now it's resistance, having trouble breaking above it. Once we do break above it, it should then become support, and then we should then push rapidly to the upside. So whilst we're in a bit of a consolidation mode at the moment, once we break above that, we should be impulsive to the upside to take us to new all-time highs for XRP. We'll probably finish on Solana today. Solana had a very nice correction from this level here, 255-ish, somewhere 253 to 254, somewhere around there anyway. We can see quite clearly an A, a B, and a C to downside. Then I think we've had a nice satisfying from that correction ABC down, a nice wave 1 up, and then we've got an ABC wave 2 down, which may or may not be complete. I suspect we may have lower to go. I measured the A wave down, transposed the top of the B wave, and 100% takes me to this level around the 100 somewhere around about $189, $190 for potential completion of the correction. It could be complete already. I mean, it's entirely possible it could have completed early, but I just suspect we probably may have a bit lower to go, and that's why I got my buy zone here. That's the ideal buy zone. I would look to dollar cost average within that zone to potentially add to long positions in Solana, potentially for a push to highs certainly above that beginning of this ABC down, so certainly above this 250 odd area, 254 area, possibly towards all-time highs of 295 on Solana. So at the moment, whilst we may be in a bit of a choppy kind of correction at the moment, I am bullish, and bear in mind, once the government gets back in America, remember they're on a shutdown at the moment. Once that shutdown finishes, then we could get some good news regarding ETFs. And we're talking about Solana, possibly XRP, possibly Litecoin, maybe some more. So ETF announcements. And if they're approved, then we should get a really powerful push to the upside. So we don't know when that government shutdown might end. We're told it may actually carry on for some time yet. When it does end, then we should get these ETF approvals coming through, and that should be really powerful for the likes of Solana, pushing it to the upside, probably towards all-time highs yet again. So as I say, whilst we may be in corrective mode now, I do think that we can afford to be bullish, especially as following this correction here, we do appear to have had a clear 5 waves up and a clear 3 waves down near completion. So I'm bullish. All the markets are currently in bullish mode. There's no indication as yet that we're going to have a correction. The corrections haven't started, so don't fight the trend. The trend currently is higher. So I hope that's helpful. Enjoy the holidays and catch up with you again soon. Bye for now.